From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio, this is Marquette Now.
Good evening, I'm Nancy Flaherty.
And I'm Kaylee Starl. Welcome to Marquette Now.
University President Michael Lovell released a statement today in response to a video of two students using a racial slur that surfaced online Monday night. Marquette's Black Student Council posted a statement on Instagram regarding the video on their page.
Their post has over 200 comments, many of which were comments tagging the university's Instagram page. In the Black Student Council statement, they include the names of the alleged students in the video. The names have circulated online, but the university will not be sharing the identities of the students involved. However, the university has confirmed that one student was a student athlete who has since been removed from their team. The Marquette Wire is working independently to identify the students involved. At this time, the Marquette Wire is not naming the students.
The Black Student Council encouraged students to fill out a bias incident report. They wanted to get at least 100 reports filled out by 10 a.m. Tuesday. The video is under investigation with the Division of Student Affairs. The university said the results will be confidential due to FERPA privacy law. The story is developing and we will share more updates as they happen. Milwaukee is receiving national attention for more than its weather. Yesterday, President Joe Biden attended a town hall at the Pabst Theater.
I was there this morning with highlights from the event.
I'm standing a couple blocks off of Marquette's campus at the Pabst Theater, where President Joe Biden attended a CNN town hall last night. This was the first appearance the president has made since taking office 4 weeks ago, and he was welcomed to Milwaukee by many protesters. One group was trying to raise awareness about the dictatorship happening in Myanmar. Now, most of the president's main takeaways last night did revolve around the coronavirus pandemic. Biden said that we should expect to see enough vaccines available for every American that wants one by the end of July, even mentioning that things might return to some kind of normal.
That by next Christmas, I think we'll be in a very different circumstance, God willing, than we are today.
He laid out some steps that are being taken to increase vaccine accessibility in neighborhoods of color, and he also pushed to get kids back into school. Biden briefly touched upon being prepared to relieve $10,000 in student loan debt. However, that's not currently part of the $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package. Other issues he touched upon included immigration and making that a more accessible process, as well as gradually increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour. I'm Kaylee Starl, Marquette Wire News.
The Marquette University Police Department is opening the lobby of the police station as a safe place to complete online transactions. Examples of this is seen with Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Buyers and sellers can meet in different locations to exchange items.
Joined with us live in the newsroom is Executive News Editor Ben Wells with Sergeant Mike Whichgers. They'll discuss some tips and safety precautions to take with online transactions. Ben?
Thank you, guys. First of all, welcome, Sergeant Whichgers. How are you doing tonight?
Good, thank you.
Awesome. We're happy to have you on the show. Now, the first question I have for you is, how exactly does this system work?
It's fairly simple. With the transactions happening, any student, faculty, or staff that are wanting to use our lobby are able to set up their meetings through Craigslist to come to our lobby and utilize that to make the transaction.
Excellent. And now, can students use this any time of the day or only on certain days throughout the week? What is the timing of this service?
Using safety precautions, one of the recommendations is always to try to do it during the daytime, which is highly recommended. If it is needed, not only on weekends, but also at nights, if there's a transaction that needs to take place, I think it's just preferred that you make, good habit of doing it during the day, though, during, regular business hours or 9 to 5. It doesn't always work like that for students or faculty or staff. So again, it's at any time. You can contact our dispatch call center to reach out to a supervisor or an officer to have assist with that.
Excellent. Now, how exactly did this idea start? Were there any specific circumstances that led to it? What was the inspiration behind this idea?
to my understanding, I believe this has always been kind of a common practice. And I think that as Craigslist grows, whether there's been incidences, we're always looking for safe practices, specifically here at Marquette. So I think it's as we've grown, or maybe there's been concerns, common safe practices which we'd want people to use. I think that doing public places is also safe, but I believe doing it at a department, it may take away from any concerns or shady situations that may occur during our transactioning with Craigslist.
Right, safety is that #1 priority. Now, how's it been going so far? Have people already been using this service at the start of the semester?
I'm not exactly sure. I know it has been used. I can't talk specific numbers just because I would have to circle around to that and kind of look into that. But I know we have had a couple times now people use this ability to use our department.
Well, sweet. Thank you for joining us tonight, Sergeant. That is all the time we have, but thank you for joining us. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Ben. On Monday, there was a virtual academic senate meeting. Provost Kimo Ayun is optimistic about this coming fall semester thanks to low COVID cases on campus. The Senate paid close attention to responses from the survey sent out to students, faculty, and staff, particularly on mental health. Lastly, the university is working on developing a new seal with the help of Native American artists and others in the campus community.
While Marquette has plans to change its seal, the community is changing too. Clinical instructor Catherine Stevik passed away at the age of 52 on February 6th. She fought against cancer for nearly a year. Stevik liked to study primate behavior, go hiking, sailing, and other things. She began her nursing journey at Marquette in 2014. Stevik nearly completed her nursing PhD program. She had a husband and 2 kids. In lieu of flowers, the family is asking for donations to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society for Stevik.
As a dependent, it can be hard for college students to get any stimulus aid in this pandemic. The university has received $3.3 million in stimulus funds. 75% of it will automatically go to Pell Grant students. Those who aren't Pell Grant students have to complete an application and have their FAFSA filed. Applications must be turned in by March 4th to be considered for emergency funding. The St. Joan of Arc Chapel is making way for its restoration project.
The Slaggy Family Foundation gifted $1 million to keep the chapel standing. The over 600-year-old chapel was built in the early 15th century and reconstructed on campus 50 years ago. The university is continuing to raise money to reach their $3 million goal.
In his presidential address last week, Michael Lovell announced new scholarship and fundraising plans to develop a new Black living learning community. The LLC is named Umoja, meaning unity in Swahili. Located on the 16th floor in Carpenter Tower, the program will consist of 20 first-year students who apply as part of their housing application this coming year.
The President's Challenge, a grant program that addresses critical issues and opportunities facing the city of Milwaukee, is entering its 3rd round since its beginning in 2018.
We met up with Daniel Bergen, Executive Director of Community Engagement, to hear more about what this round will entail.
So this 3rd round, this 3rd iteration, is focused on racial justice and equity. And one of the really exciting aspects of doing this program has been really its innovative ability to respond to the moment and to the current cultural context that we're operating in. So whether it was the COVID-19 pandemic response in the situation, that moment that we needed to do something, or it's now, of course, the situation in terms of the national crisis in racial justice and equity. And so we've been working to develop this particular President's Challenge in partnership again with Johnson Controls and American Family. And both of them were thrilled at the prospect of doing this particular subject and topic. They both have a strong interest in pursuing this. And so it aligned really nicely.
There will be an information session tomorrow, Thursday, February 18th at 3 p.m. for those interested in knowing more about the challenge.
Marquette's executive leadership team, which was previously made up of President Lovell, the Provost, and the Chief Operating Officer, has added 7 new members.
With this addition, President Michael Lovell changed the group's name to the President's Cabinet. This group is in place to advise the President through important matters regarding the university while keeping a strong focus on academic excellence and a Catholic Jesuit mission.
In an effort to better represent the broader university community, the new members are professionals from diverse academic backgrounds across campus.
Coming up, we have an inside story of the people that clean the buildings while students are in their residence.
And later, we'll show you how O-Fest went. All that when we come back.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things,
but they're all pure love.
Welcome back. I'm Nancy Flaherty.
And I'm Keely Starl.
It's more important now than ever to show appreciation for the custodial staff that helps keep us healthy and safe.
Marquette Wire's Autumn Herchert met with some of the dedicated men and women who keep Marquette looking and feeling great in the face of COVID-19.
At 6 a.m. in Johnston Hall, the only noise that can be heard is the sound of Felicia Malam's vacuum.
Our worstest months is the winter months because you gotta constantly all this salt, you're trying to keep up with. It's a lot of vacuuming. But other than that, I don't know, I love what I do. I've been doing it over 20-some years, so I just love it. I do.
2 hours earlier, at the Alumni Memorial Union, it's a similar story. As the sound of the wheels on Darren Rainey's utility cart are one of the only sounds during his 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift.
We'll come in at 11 and then leave at 6:30 and so forth. So there'll be people coming in around 5 or 6 right now. So
this is a special care and around-the-clock commitment that keep Marquette students and staff safe, especially during a pandemic.
Have to make sure everything's wiped down. Someone will come in and then they'll spray everything down too.
Basically, we just spray down.
This extra COVID precaution is done by a sanitation squad member, like Jamar Davis.
We do door handles, doorknobs, any touch point, light switches as well, because everybody touch those every day.
It's the steps like this that make a huge difference for the Marquette community.
Our job is that we save lives, and we save them lives just like nurses because we are frontline workers as well.
This is Autumn Herchert, Marquette Wire News.
The Neiman Symposium will take place virtually next Tuesday, February 23rd. This event includes panelists Marissa Evans, Wesley Lowery, Linda Steiner, and David Umhafer. They will be discussing the impact and value of objectivity and diversity in journalism, as well as ways to improve. Register today through Eventbrite.
Do you know a senior that could represent the class of 2021 during commencement?
Students and faculty nominate students they feel has had a true Marquette experience. The top 10 finalists are chosen based on academic standing, campus involvement, and how they represent the Marquette mission. Nominations for the class of 2021 commencement speakers are being accepted until tomorrow at 11 p.m.
Marquette Dining Services are offering 2 new programs this semester. Every Tuesday and Thursday, there's a pop-up kitchen in the AMU where students can try new foods. The culinary team is also partnering with Milwaukee restaurants to preset the Eat Local program. Twice a month, local businesses can offer their food to students. Both programs are available on a meal swipe.
Mission Week at Marquette was last week. The week was bookended with Mass on both Sundays, and every day had a different event that reflected Marquette's mission. From morning shows to retreats to luncheons to lectures, the week was filled with fun events to grow in faith. Joining organizations on campus looks different than it has in years past. Yesterday, the Office of Engagement and Inclusion hosted its first virtual orientation fest.
Students could download the DigiWorld software and create their own custom avatar. After setting up, the avatars can move around the virtual world and explore all of the different organizations on campus through virtual booths. A microphone feature allowed students to talk with people in these organizations, much like the in-person event. Now, this winter, snowstorms are affecting campus life, from classes being moved online to snow in the dorms.
When the polar vortex hit campus 2 years ago, the university canceled classes for a couple days. Now that online classes are more frequent because of COVID-19, will that stay the same? Kevin Conway, the university's Associate Director of University Communication, confirmed in an email that there are no policies at this time to move classes online if severe weather closes the university. Now, according to the CDC, wind chill that makes a temperature feel like negative 28 degrees Fahrenheit can freeze skin in less than 30 minutes. Before frostbite, you could get frost nip. Frost nip happens when ice crystals form under the skin, but frostbite can come shortly after. We have Richard Reinders here to tell us more about the weather. Richard?
Thank you. So right now we have cloudy skies and humidity around 65%, precipitation's around 40%, and we have winds around 4 miles an hour towards the northwest. And we can see some overnight lows here. It's going to be a little chilly upper north Wisconsin. However, like down south in Milwaukee, Madison, and La Crosse, it's going to be a little warmer. And tomorrow we're going to see some state highs. Superior, it's going to be around 16, Eau Claire 18, Milwaukee 25, and Madison 23. And tonight we're going to also have some snow showers possibly. High of 15, precipitation is going to be around 40%, and wind's going to be around 5 miles an hour to the northwest. Tomorrow, we're going to see partially clearing of the snow and cloudiness. High is going to be around 25 degrees. We're going to see precipitation around 25%, and the winds are going to be around 5 to 10 mile an hour going towards the northeast. Friday, partly cloudy, high of 20, low of 1. We're going to see Saturday and Sunday warm up a little bit, especially Sunday, with some snow showers, hopefully on not hopefully, but on Sunday. And mostly partly cloudy, hopefully a little bit of sun comes through, and then Tuesday high of 40, so it's going to pretty much feel like spring out there. So stay with us because Ava Mayers will be right back with sports right after this.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Welcome back. I'm Ava Mayers with your Marquette Now Sports Report. Starting with the men's basketball team, the squad just broke their 3-game losing streak just minutes ago. The Golden Eagles captured a crushing 73-57 victory over the Butler Bulldogs in Indianapolis tonight. Marquette's most recent loss came from the Seton Hall Pirates on Sunday afternoon. Junior Jared Roden put up 20 points for the Pirates, leading Seton Hall to a 57-51 victory over Marquette. The women's basketball team has been on fire recently with a 14-4 overall record. The Golden Eagles picked up a 73-52 win last Saturday against Providence. Senior Selena Lott and sophomore Jordan King tallied 14 points apiece, leading to Marquette another Big East victory. The Golden Eagles are set to take on Villanova Friday night at the Al McGuire Center. Recently, both basketball programs started to allow families of players to attend the games for the first time since March. Marquette Athletics also said in the press release that they expect a small amount of fans for National Marquette Day on March 6th, when the men play Xavier. Christian Parise caught up with women's basketball head coach Megan Duffy and a redshirt senior Lauren Van Kluwen about the impact seeing family members in the stands.
Empty arenas have been the new normal for both the Marquette men's and women's basketball teams. Since the start of the 2020-2021 season, no fans or family were allowed to attend basketball games. But on February 3rd, 2021, Marquette Athletics announced in a press release that family of the staff and athletes would be allowed to attend games in both the Al McGuire Center and Pfizer Forum. Especially for women's head coach Megan Duffy, seeing family in the stands for the first time this season was extra special.
So to have, a few of our family members, both staff and team, it was awesome. Win or lose, just to see them, waving to them. And it's been a long, not only season, but just long 10 or 11 months of just not having that normalcy.
The women started having family attend their games last Friday, February 5th, when they hosted the Yukon Huskies. Right away, many players like redshirt senior Lauren Van Kluwen were already able to see a change in their intensity when they heard the cheering from their loved ones.
That's a big part, knowing your family's there, and it's nice to see for the first time. So to have them, that's huge, and I think they our families do a great job of screaming, yelling, and definitely it was nice to see them.
Although it is special for the athletes to finally play in front of an audience, Coach Duffy said it still felt weird to have to distance themselves around family. It's a big change that everyone is going to have to get used to, but she's proud of the student athletes for being so resilient.
Crazy part is, in some regard, that even, they leave the building, but you have to be so cautious that, just because they're there in the same city now with you guys, you got to keep them away from them, because we got a short amount of time to say your highs and masked up.
Kristen Parisi, Marquette Wire Sports.
Shifting gears to Marquette men's soccer, the team is 2 weeks into their season and they're already off to a hot start. For the first time since 2012, the Golden Eagles are 3-0-0 with every game won in overtime. The squad is coming off a non-conference win over St. Louis, but Big East play will begin Saturday afternoon against Creighton. Switching over to the volleyball team, the women swept the DePaul Blue Demons back-to-back this past weekend. Senior transfer Taylor Wolf totaled 23 assists over the 2 games. She has continued to be one of Marquette's top offensive players. The Golden Eagles will resume Big East play on Friday night against Creighton. Marquette will wear gold jerseys this weekend in support of women's volleyball player Sarah Rose, who is undergoing treatment for bone cancer. All are encouraged to use the hashtag #GoldForSarah to post their support on social media throughout the week. Now that's it for sports, but don't go anywhere. Marquette Now will be right back with Down to the Wire segment.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things,
but they're all pure love.
Welcome back. I'm Kaylee Starl.
And I'm Nancy Flaherty. Marquette Wire Executive News Editor Ben Wells joins us tonight for tonight's edition of Down to the Wire.
He's with Assistant News Editor Megan Woolard to talk about the university's progress on promises they made to Black students. Ben.
Thanks so much, Nancy and Kaylee. I'm with my assistant news editor, Megan Woolard. How are you doing tonight, Megan?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Ben.
Yeah, excellent. It's always a pleasure. Now, you wrote this article on President Lovell's promises to black students and all the progress that it's made. If you don't mind, tell us, how did all of this start? Why were these promises made?
Yeah, so, there's a lot of protests, around over the summer about, racial injustice, in our country. And so at the end of September, the Black Student Council and Lovell and the executive leadership team, they kind of met and they kind of discussed how we can make this a better place for Marquette. And so out of that, there was like a list of promises that the university wanted to put in place to like make Marquette a more welcoming place for all students.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. So far, what progress has been made for the benefit of black students here at Marquette?
Yeah, so we actually just heard last week in President Lovell's address that they did add 40 urban scholarships, which that was kind of part of the promises. They're also, Black Student Council is having regular conversations with MUPD. It's kind of been Black Student Council's bringing concerns they have to MUPD, and there's been a conversation and MUPD's been adjusting. And also we have the Black Living Learning community that's coming in, and then there's also Black Student Council representation on different committees within the University Academic Senate.
Right, and going back to the Black Living Learning community, we kind of we sort of talked about it already, but do you mind sort of explaining what that will look like more?
Yeah, so Marquette actually has a few living learning communities already. So there's like the nursing one, there's a Latin community within Straz, there's engineering in Eckstein. So this is pretty common. It's going to be a group of students that kind of live and study together. So that's just kind of, we're going to input that for black students if they so choose to apply.
Excellent. Well, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, Megan. I'll throw it back to you guys in the studio.
That's all we have for you tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nancy Flaherty.
And I'm Kaylee Starl. Remember to check the MarquetteWire.org website for all the latest campus news. Good night, Marquette.